All right, so lesson 12, we are multiplying decimal fractions by single-digit whole numbers, including using estimation to confirm the placement of the decimal point. So when we are using estimation to determine the placement of the decimal point, you're going to have to use your unit form. So let's take a look at A. So in A, we had 5 1/10 times 2. Well, we know that in unit form, 5 1/10 could be written out as 51 tenths. You had $5 and 1 dime. You could also cash that $5 in and get 50 dimes to have your 51 tenths. So if we were multiplying that by 2, we know that we would get 2 times 1 be 2, 2 times 5, 5's in the tens place, so it's really 2 times 50 equals 100. So we would have 102 tenths. 102 tenths. If you had 102 dimes, you wouldn't have $102, you would have 102 dimes, which would be equal to your 10 2/10. All right, so another way we can do that, if you like to use the standard algorithm, I have a lot of students who prefer to just do this. One way that we discussed is, you're multiplying 2 times 1/10. So if you had 2 times 1/10, that would be 2 tenths. So you would have to have 2 tenths. Don't think of that as 1 times 2, but 2 times 1/10. You get your 2 tenths, and then you have 2 times 5 ones, and that's how you get your $10 if we were talking about money. So you have your answer there. Another way is to count place value units after your decimal point. So we have 1 here, and we have none here, because in this digit, our 2, our decimal will be here, so we have nothing after or to the right of our decimal in this 2. So then we would just add those 2 up. 1 plus 0 equals 1. So we know we need to move our decimal place over 1 time here. That's kind of the procedural way that we learned back in the day. As for right now, you want to keep in mind that you have your 51 tenths, not 51, but 51 tenths times 2. Same thing looking at B here. We know that we're out to the hundredths place. So this is going to be the smallest unit we have is hundredths. The most hundredths we can get out of this number is 893 hundredths. So if we had 893 hundredths times 4, you get 3,572. Now remember, that's not just 3,572 wholes, that's actually 3,572 hundredths. So because we have hundredths, if we were doing our standard algorithm like we did here, would have been, now we have numbers all the way out to our hundredths place. We have 2 digits after our decimal. Our 9 and our 3 are both to the right of our decimal. We have no digits to the right of our decimal here, because remember, in a whole number like 4, our decimal would be there. So now we add those 2. 2 plus 0 is 2. We know after we multiply these two numbers out, we're going to have to move our place value, our decimal over 2 places. And we go 1, 2 to get our 35. That's kind of a backup way to make sure that if you are estimating, you won't go wrong. Of course, you can always, if they're giving you the numbers, please just do the easiest way possible. I like to say either cross out the extras here and say, okay, I have around 5. 5 times 2 is 10. I know that of those 4, closest number to 10 will be 10 2/10. And if I'm using estimation, once again, I can say 4 times 8, or of course this number is closer to 9. I can say 4 times 9 is 36. Closest number to 36 is right here. So for this part here, it says estimate the answer for 7 1300 times 6. Explain your reasoning using words, pictures, or numbers. All right, so I'm going to say, I know that 7 times 6 is equal to 42. And I know that 7.13, or 7 1300 is around 7. So therefore, 7 1300 times 6 should be around 42. I use my numbers to explain my thinking, and I know that this is going to be close to my answer. If you wanted to multiply that out, You could also just do the actual math and say, well, I know 6 times 300ths is going to be 1800ths. Regroup my 10 hundredths as 1/10. Then I have 6 times 1/10 is 6/10 plus one more tenth is 7/10. And then I have 6 times 7 is 42. And I know that 42 is around 42 and 78 hundredths. Thank you once again. Hopefully this helps. You do have a quiz on this coming up tomorrow. Hopefully everybody was able to do their homework. This is the actual question that you saw on your exit ticket. You'll see something very similar to this on your quiz tomorrow. So I would definitely review.